Hey friend, Sean from Draft Therapy here, and on today's review for you, put on your robe and wizard hat, because we're going into a wizard burial ground. Wizard Burial Ground is an 11.8% bourbon barrel-aged quad from Brewery Vivant in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Now this is one that I've been waiting to try for a long time. I try to do some research on all the styles and when I bring these videos to you, and I was doing research on the Belgian quad style in an effort to bring you some good information on exactly what they are, and I fell into a deep rabbit hole. Rather than get into all that, I'm going to leave some of the links in the description below this video if you're at all interested in what makes a quad a quad. I find it really confusing, and rather than me mumble and bumble through talking about something I don't really know anything about, I figured I'd just drink a beer and tell you what I thought, and that's probably why you're here anyways, right? So I got this from Brewery Vivant on my trip to get CBS from Founders in Grand Rapids just a week or so ago, along with a couple other beers, and I'm glad I did because the local shops around me are selling that 1 or 2 cans per customer. And this is a really limited release, and with most stuff from the West Side, us East Siders don't get a whole lot of love, and I'm sure you guys over there on the West Side have it the same way with stuff from the East Side. So anyways, let's take a look at the outside of this can first, and then we'll get all up in it. So this Brewery Vivant and this Wizard Burial Ground, this is one of the coolest can designs, in my opinion, that they have ever done. This is a 2017 release. It says right across the bottom. And it has this wizard, or at least a face looking down on kind of like a Stonehenge-like structure with a bunch of these kind of robed figures with staffs. So I'm only assuming that these can be wizards, and these are kind of tombstones. And the wizard is looking down, or the face is looking down on them. The whole thing is just really kind of cool. The graphic design is really cool. And just on the back real quick here, it says, brewed once a year, this special quadruple is aged in freshly drained bourbon barrels and disappears into the shadows for a full year of cellaring. This year's brew becomes next year's release. The alcohol content of the quad pulls the bourbon, vanilla, and charred oak character out of the barrel and melds it all together with the caramel richness already present. We've been wood aging beers and experimenting with wild fermentation since we opened in 2010. Join us at our annual Wood Aged Beer Festival each autumn to find out more. And they have a pairing here, a food pairing. It says basically this is a beer to be shared, truly indulge, enjoy with blue cheese, stuffed dates wrapped in bacon with a balsamic glaze. That's a little too highfalutin for me. I'm just going to drink this beer and tell you what I think. So I am going to grab a tulip, because I think that'll probably kind of bring the scents out the best. I'll crack that open, give it a smell. Whoa, I smell the bourbon like boom, right up in my face, right off the bat. I am getting kind of a little bit of that oaky character, not really much of the vanilla that they mentioned, but I am kind of getting that oakiness. Let's pour this. That kind of looks like motor oil when I'm pouring it out of this can. Really thin motor oil. And that is a really interesting color. I'm not getting much of a head. It could have been my lame pour. It could have just been that you don't get much of a head. But it's more of like a purplish kind of reddish purple color. It's a really cool color. I can't say that I've seen a lot of beers this color. I usually stick to browns and yellows. That's my kind of style of beer. But let's give it a scent out of this tulip. Yeah, I'm getting the bourbon, big time bourbon. Maybe a little bit of vanilla, and yeah, I am getting a little bit of that oakiness out of the scent. It's a really nice smell. Without further ado, let's give it a taste. Okay, I'm picking up the vanilla big time on the taste. This is really pretty smooth. So I'm getting a bit of I'm definitely getting a bourbon taste out of it. It's really light. It's really, it's kind of refreshing. It's not syrupy, but I get a lot of bourbon-y taste. I'm getting the vanilla. A lot. It's like bourbon first off, but actually the bourbon's really kind of subtle compared to all these BBA beers that I've been drinking lately. Even with something like with CBS, the bourbon in this is actually really light. It's really, the vanilla is really where this starts to shine. There's a tiny bit of heat when you drink it, but not a whole lot. I mean, 11.8% is pretty decent. That's nothing to slouch at. And this, yeah, you can tell that this is a strong beer, but it's not overpowering. The vanilla is a little bit stronger than the bourbon kind of taste, which is odd because sometimes the bourbon overtakes it and you get that big kind of bourbon sweetness, but you don't get a lot of vanilla on some of these things. On this, I'm getting a lot of the vanilla. Let me see if I can pick up on the oakiness. Maybe a tiny bit, but yeah, like I said, the vanilla's forefront in this. I mean, the bourbon's the first thing you taste, but vanilla really quickly raises to the surface. It kind of overpowers the bourbon barrel aging that you get on this, but it's really kind of pleasant. It's pleasing. It's not what I was expecting. For some reason, I thought this was going to be really kind of overpowered, really, really high octane, and just kind of a lot of bourbon, kind of in your face bourbon, like so many BBA beers have been lately. So this is a really refreshing change of pace when you see something that says bourbon barrel aged and it's not just all that bourbon. And leave it to Brewery Vivant to do something like this. I think that they're still doing some of the most innovative beers. They have their particular style and they have their kind of flow that they go with, but they always seem to do something out of the ordinary or something that kind of throws you off guard, and you kind of have to step back and you have to think about their beers a little bit more than you might have to do so with like a traditional IPA or a New England style IPA or even a bourbon barrel aged beer. For most of these Michigan breweries, or most breweries in general that do BBA beers, you just kind of get that big punch of bourbon, and you don't really get that with this, and that's surprising, and I really enjoy that from Brewery Vivant. Like I've said in the past with their beers, they kind of take a style, they take something that you think you're familiar with, they kind of just turn it on its ear a little bit, and it just puts that twist. It makes it fun to sit and drink their beer and be able to see all the things that they're able to do. And as this kind of sits on my mouth, I do pick up a little bit more of that oakiness. It subtly picks away at you on the back end. So, all right, friends, that's been Wizard Burial Ground from Brewery Vivant. Just when I thought December would slow down with the new beers, it seems like they're going to keep me busy for a while. And Brewery Vivant, if you're out there, I'd love to make a visit and film around inside your facility. While we're on that subject, if you know any small breweries that I should know about, or if you work for a brewery and would like to be featured on this channel, use one of the links below this video to contact me. I'd really like to start featuring more breweries from all sizes all around the state of Michigan here on the channel. Have beer, will travel. If there are any other breweries around you that you'd like to see, let me know in the comments down below this video. And while you're down there, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm here talking about Michigan beer and only Michigan beer twice a week. So how about you hang around? The best part about it, it's absolutely free. You can also find links to my social media and my website at drafttherapy.com. So until next time, I'm Sean from Draft Therapy. Thanks for stopping by, and remember, drink craft beer, support your local breweries, and most importantly, don't forget to treat yourself to a little draft therapy. Thanks for watching. Cheers.